This is maybe what you might think kryptonite's going to look like, but actually it appears that this is possibly kryptonite.
Scientists have just done the unthinkable because they've cracked the code for real-life kryptonite. Yes, the kryptonite. The glowing green stuff that brought Superman to his knees might not be so fictional after all. Researchers recently stumbled upon a compound eerily similar to the legendary mineral, and it's blowing minds across the globe. While it won't be stopping aliens anytime soon, its makeup is shockingly close to the comic book version. What's really going on here? Should Superman be worried? Let's dive in. A marvelous discovery. Hold on to your capes, superhero fans. What was once pure comic book fantasy has just taken one giant leap into our reality. Scientists have discovered a real mineral on Earth that almost perfectly matches the fictional formula for kryptonite. The glowing green substance that famously strips Superman of his powers and brings the Man of Steel to his knees. No, this isn't a headline from the Daily Planet, and no, Lex Luthor isn't behind it. At least, not that we know of. This is real science. This is real chemistry. And it's seriously cool. The discovery unfolded like something out of a sci-fi thriller. A group of mineralogists working in Serbia stumbled upon a strange white powdery material while analyzing rocks from the Jadar Valley. What they expected to be a fairly ordinary mineral turned out to be anything but. When the team ran tests on its chemical composition, they were stunned. The formula? Sodium lithium boron silicate hydroxide. Sound familiar? That's because it's almost exactly the same fictional compound described in the 2006 film Superman Returns as kryptonite's scientific breakdown. The only thing missing was fluorine and, well, the eerie green glow. Now, before you start scouring the skies for Kryptonian spacecraft or crafting anti-Superman defense kits, let's pump the brakes just a little. The newly discovered substance, now named jadarite, doesn't actually have the same superpowered effects as kryptonite. It won't melt steel or zap alien DNA, but the coincidence is jaw-dropping and the implications are fascinating. While it may not weaken superheroes, it is rich in lithium, one of the most valuable elements in the world right now, especially for use in batteries, renewable energy systems, and electric vehicles. In other words, this real kryptonite might not stop Superman, but it could help power the future of our planet. Here's the kicker. Jadarite is completely unique. It had never been documented in nature before this discovery. It doesn't belong to any known mineral group, making it a one-of-a-kind scientific marvel. The International Mineralogical Association even had to confirm and name it, and they did so with a nod to its place of origin, the Jadar region of Serbia. That means the valley now holds a place in both geological history and pop culture mythology. It's the birthplace of Earth's very own kryptonite. The reaction to the discovery has been electric, not just in scientific circles, but in fandoms around the globe. Comic book enthusiasts are buzzing, science communicators are swooning, and even those with only a passing knowledge of Superman are raising their eyebrows at this unexpected crossover between fiction and reality. It raises a tantalizing question. If kryptonite can become real, well, almost, what other mythical materials might science be able to recreate? Vibranium from Wakanda? Adamantium from Wolverine's claws? Unobtainium from Avatar? Could these once imaginary substances one day find a place on the periodic table or in your smartphone? This isn't the first time science has played catch-up with fiction. Arthur C. Clarke once said that any sufficiently advanced technology is indistinguishable from magic, and time and again, our most fantastical ideas have eventually found grounding in real-world innovation. From touchscreen interfaces and AI assistants to wireless communication and space travel, today's science was yesterday's science fiction. Kryptonite, it seems, is simply the latest chapter in this long tradition of imagination fueling invention. Yet there's something different about this particular case. The near-perfect match between a made-up material and an actual, natural mineral, down to the very chemical formula, is not just a coincidence. It's a story about how human creativity and scientific curiosity often walk the same path, even when they don't know it. The scriptwriters of Superman Returns could never have guessed that their fictional compound would one day be mirrored by real geology. And yet here we are, watching a mineral born of the Earth mirror the very thing that once existed only in a comic panel. Speaking of comic, let's talk about the kryptonite we know in fiction. The perfect element. So yeah, if you grew up with any connection to the Superman universe, chances are you know the word kryptonite, that shimmering green rock that can zap Superman's powers and make the invincible Man of Steel suddenly vulnerable. But what exactly is kryptonite? Where did it come from? And why has it become so iconic that it's even slipped into everyday language? Let's take a casual stroll through the origins, meaning, and even a little science behind kryptonite. Kryptonite first showed up in the Superman stories back in the early 40s. Superman himself debuted in 1938 in Action Comics #1, and for a while, he was basically this untouchable superhero. Strong, fast, virtually indestructible. That was awesome, but also kind of a storytelling problem. How do you make a character interesting if he's basically unstoppable? Enter Kryptonite. The green glowing rock was introduced as a plot device to give Superman a weakness, a kind of Achilles heel. The first official mention of kryptonite was actually in the Superman radio show in 1943, before it even appeared in the comics. The idea was genius. Superman, a symbol of hope and power, suddenly had a vulnerability tied to his alien home planet, Krypton. The name itself comes from Krypton, Superman's destroyed homeworld, and the suffix "ite", which is often used in mineralogy. Kryptonite is, in fiction, a radioactive remnant from Krypton's explosion. It weakens Superman, causing physical pain and stripping him of his powers, making the invincible suddenly human. Over time, different colors and types of kryptonite popped up in the stories, each with its own effects, but green kryptonite remained the classic villain's tool. If real kryptonite were discovered, its unique energy-manipulating properties could revolutionize medicine by enabling highly precise treatments. It might target cancer cells without harming healthy tissue, regulate immune responses to treat autoimmune diseases, and restore balance in neurological conditions like depression or Parkinson's. Such breakthroughs could vastly improve patient outcomes and reduce side effects compared to current therapies. Beyond medicine, kryptonite could transform technology and industry. It could lead to ultra-efficient energy storage and transmission, powering everything from electric vehicles to global power grids with minimal loss. Its strength and lightweight nature could create advanced aerospace materials, and its interaction with electromagnetic fields might enable quantum-level secure communication. In industry, kryptonite might accelerate chemical reactions, lower emissions, and help detoxify polluted environments. However, the powerful and potentially dangerous nature of kryptonite would demand responsible use and regulation to maximize benefits while minimizing risks. The allure of real kryptonite lies not only in its extraordinary capabilities, but also in the way it challenges our imagination and ambition. It symbolizes the dual nature of innovation, immense promise shadowed by caution. Whether it ever materializes beyond the pages of comic books and fantasy, kryptonite invites us to dream boldly about the future of science and technology. If we are lucky enough to one day wield such a force, we must do so with wisdom, responsibility, and a deep respect for the delicate balance of life itself. Why does kryptonite resonate then, beyond just being a comic book weakness? At its core, kryptonite symbolizes vulnerability. Superman, the ultimate symbol of strength, justice, and moral clarity, suddenly has a glaring flaw. That's something everyone can relate to on some level, no matter how powerful or confident someone seems. Everyone has something that can bring them down. This idea of having a kryptonite entered our language to describe a person's weakness, a bad habit, or a situation that throws you off balance. It's the perfect metaphor for human fragility wrapped in an alien rock. Kryptonite also reflects the complexity of identity. Superman is an alien trying to fit into Earth's society, and the kryptonite that comes from his destroyed home world literally threatens his survival. It's a poetic reminder that our origins and past can be both a source of strength and vulnerability. Why the pop love on Kryptonite? Decades after its first appearance, Kryptonite remains one of the most famous elements in comic book lore. It's not just a tool for storytelling, but a cultural icon that reminds us of the fragile side beneath greatness. Superman's Kryptonite teaches us that no one is perfect, and everyone faces challenges or weaknesses, even heroes. Whether you're a comic fan, a science nerd, or just someone who enjoys a good metaphor, Kryptonite has a little something for everyone. A fictional mineral that became a symbol of human vulnerability, the tension between strength and weakness, and the fascinating space between fact and fantasy. Next time you hear someone say, "That's my Kryptonite," you'll know there's a whole rich history behind that phrase, from a glowing green rock in the comics to a universal symbol of our own struggles. Going back to reality, we mean to a less intense and magical Kryptonite. Let's get a little technical this time. The formula. The discovery of jadarite opened a new chapter in mineralogy and chemistry, offering insights into its unique composition and synthetic pathways, as well as potential industrial applications, particularly in the lithium-ion battery market. Chemically, like we said, jadarite is a lithium-sodium borosilicate hydroxide. This complex formula indicates that the mineral is composed primarily of lithium, sodium, silicon, boron, oxygen, and hydroxyl groups. In terms of elemental weight percentages, the mineral consists of roughly a percentage of lithium oxide, sodium oxide, silicon dioxide, and a significant 47% boron oxide, with a small amount of water content, approximately 4%. The combination of these oxides forms a crystalline structure that is both chemically intriguing and industrially valuable. The high boron content, in particular, positions jadarite as an important mineral for producing boron-based compounds, which have numerous applications ranging from detergents to glassmaking and agriculture. Meanwhile, the lithium content has sparked interest due to the growing demand for lithium in rechargeable batteries, powering electric vehicles and portable electronics. The process of synthesizing jadarite in laboratory settings has provided valuable understanding of how such a mineral forms naturally. Synthetic production generally involves hydrothermal methods, where a gel-like precursor solution is prepared using lithium chloride monohydrate, sodium borate, silicon dioxide, sodium chloride, and water. This mixture is then subjected to elevated temperatures ranging between 180 degrees Celsius and 230 degrees Celsius, under controlled conditions between 6 and 12. These parameters facilitate the formation of the characteristic crystal structure of jadarite. Advanced analytical tools such as powder X-ray diffraction, PXRD, Fourier transform infrared, FTIR, spectroscopy, and synchrotron-based X-ray absorption, near-edge structure spectroscopy have been employed to verify the crystallinity, molecular bonding, and chemical environment within the synthetic samples. These techniques confirm that the synthetic mineral closely mirrors the natural jadarite discovered in the Jadar Basin, reinforcing our understanding of its chemical nature and stability. Beyond its chemistry and synthesis, jadarite holds significance in geological and economic contexts. Geologically, its occurrence is currently limited to the Jadar Basin in Serbia, making it a rare and unique mineral species. This exclusivity adds to its scientific allure as researchers study its formation environment and associated mineral deposits. Economically, the presence of lithium and boron within jadarite makes it a promising candidate for mining operations focused on supplying raw materials for modern technologies. The burgeoning global demand for lithium, driven by the transition toward renewable energy and electric transportation, elevates the importance of minerals like jadarite. Unlike traditional lithium sources such as spodumene or lithium brines, jadarite could represent an alternative lithium-bearing resource, contingent on the feasibility of its extraction and processing. Furthermore, its boron content adds value by enabling dual resource exploitation from the same mineral deposit. It is crucial, however, to distinguish real jadarite from the fictional kryptonite of popular culture. Despite its chemical similarity, jadarite does not exhibit any radioactive or harmful properties. It lacks the distinctive glowing green appearance or the mythical superpower-draining effects portrayed in comics and films. Jadarite is, at its core, a naturally occurring mineral that serves as a bridge between fiction and science, an exciting example of how scientific discovery can intersect with imagination. The study of jadarite enriches mineralogical knowledge and offers practical benefits through its potential industrial applications, all while reminding us of the fascinating interplay between myth and reality. Jadarite represents a compelling case study in modern mineralogy and chemistry. Its complex chemical composition, involving lithium, sodium, silicon, and boron, along with its unique formation process, highlights the intricate pathways through which rare minerals develop. The laboratory synthesis of jadarite has furthered our understanding of such processes, validating natural observations. Most importantly, jadarite's discovery has bridged the gap between a beloved fictional substance and tangible scientific reality, opening new avenues for resource development and study. While it may not possess the dramatic effects of kryptonite from Superman lore, jadarite stands as a remarkable mineral of significant chemical interest and practical potential. But wait, the ethical and environmental headaches that come with mining and using jadarite are no joke. It was discovered, yes, but it's not as easy and handy as we may have imagined. Environmental risks and moral questions. True, scientists have found this crazy mineral called jadarite that's basically the real-life version of kryptonite. Sounds like a super cool scientific milestone. But before we all start dreaming about the endless possibilities, let's pump the brakes and think about the mess it could cause. Sure, the hype is real. This stuff could change the game in tech, energy, and maybe even medicine, but there's a darker side that no one's really talking about yet. First up, mining jadarite is going to be rough on the environment. This mineral isn't just lying around everywhere. It's found deep in Serbia's Jadar Valley, a pretty specific spot. To get enough of this stuff, massive mining operations would have to roll in, and we all know what that means. Tearing up the land, messing with local ecosystems, and probably polluting the water. The people living nearby. Their homes and lives could be totally upended. Mining isn't just about digging dirt. It's about long-term damage like soil erosion, loss of wildlife habitats, and contamination. So, here's the big question. Is it worth it to mess up a whole area and risk people's well-being just to get this super mineral? History shows us what happens when we put profits and progress ahead of the planet. Spoiler alert, it's usually bad news. But wait, there's more. What happens once jadarite gets into the hands of companies and countries? It could become a hot commodity, sparking fights over who owns it and who gets to cash in. Think of oil, rare earth metals, or other valuable resources. There's always drama, power plays, and sometimes straight-up conflict. If jadarite becomes the next must-have resource, will it just make inequality worse? Who's going to decide who benefits and who gets screwed? Without clear rules and cooperation, this stuff could turn into a new way for the rich and powerful to dominate. And then there's the unknown factor. We don't really know the long-term effects of using or being around jadarite. It's brand new, and while it's got cool properties, it might also come with hidden dangers. History's full of materials that looked amazing at first, but ended up being toxic or harmful, like asbestos or lead paint. So we gotta be careful here. Do our homework, and not rush into using jadarite everywhere without making sure it's safe for people and the planet. Better safe than sorry, right? On top of that, there's the whole super material hype that gets people all fired up. It's easy to get caught up in the fantasy that this one mineral will solve everything, but sometimes chasing that miracle fix makes us forget simpler, smarter, and more sustainable solutions that don't wreck the environment or create new problems. The smart move? Make sure scientists, governments, companies, and the local communities all work together openly and honestly. That way, everyone gets a fair shake, and we don't end up trading one problem for another. While jadarite is wild and exciting, it also brings a bunch of big questions about right and wrong, safety, and who really wins or loses. How we handle this new kryptonite could either show that we're responsible and thoughtful, or that we're just repeating the same mistakes. It's not just about science, it's about doing what's right for people and the planet. So, what does the future hold for jadarite? While it may not be housed in lead boxes or wielded by villains trying to topple caped crusaders, it's poised to become a major player in the tech and energy industries. The Jadar Valley could become a global hub for lithium extraction, helping fuel the next generation of green technology. And all the while, somewhere in the background, a knowing smirk from Superman fans echoes through the scientific community. "You've found kryptonite," they say. "Now, let's see what you do with it." The story of real-life kryptonite is more than a quirky scientific fluke. It's a testament to the wild, unpredictable, and often beautiful ways that fiction and reality intertwine. It reminds us that the universe is still full of surprises, that the world is far more fantastic than we often give it credit for, and that sometimes, just sometimes, truth really is stranger than fiction. The next time someone tells you that superheroes aren't real, you can smile, point to Serbia, and say, maybe not, but their weaknesses sure are. Did this video make you miss Superman for a bit? Tell us about your thoughts in the section below, and subscribe to the channel for more.